Wisdom Beyond Wise presents How to Make a Great First Impression. They say you never get a second chance to make a first impression. It's an old adage, but it rings true. Those initial moments of meeting someone new can shape how they perceive you for a long time to come. Studies have shown that we size up new people in just 7 seconds, making snap judgments that can be hard to shake. So what sorts of behaviors can make or break that crucial first impression? And how can you put your best foot forward when meeting someone for the first time? From body language to conversation topics to your overall appearance, there are numerous factors at play. Here's an in-depth guide to nailing your first impression. The power of a proper handshake. If you have a job interview or important business meeting on the horizon, pay special attention to your handshake technique. It may seem like a minor detail, but the handshake is a pivotal part of introduction. Research by psychologist William F. Chaplin found that people with a limp, weak handshake are often perceived as shy, anxious, uninterested, or even incompetent. On the flip side, a good handshake conveys confidence, capability, and engagement. But there's a fine line to walk. You don't want to come across as aggressive or overpowering either. Aim for a firm grip that lasts no more than 2 seconds. Anything longer gets awkward fast. Beyond the handshake itself, be mindful of where you position your hands throughout an interaction. Keeping them in your pockets can seem like you're hiding something or holding back. Meanwhile, placing your hands palms down on a table may give off unintended vibes of dominance or an attempt to control the conversation. Different cultures have different norms when it comes to hand placement as well. For instance, while gently folding your hands on a table is perfectly acceptable in Western countries, that same gesture is considered rude in places like Japan and India. Do your research ahead of time if meeting with someone from an unfamiliar cultural background. The role of eye contact. There's a reason we're taught to look someone in the eye from a young age. Eye contact plays a surprisingly big role in how we size up new acquaintances. One study showed that those who maintain eye contact during conversation tend to be perceived as more confident, intelligent, and trustworthy. Those who avoid eye contact, on the other hand, come across as anxious, insincere, and less attractive. Of course, too much intense eye contact can be off-putting as well, making you seem aggressive or just plain creepy. The goal is to strike a balance, making decent eye contact without staring the other person down. Think of it as a mutual gaze that ebbs and flows naturally throughout your chat. Avoiding distracting habits. You know that annoying coworker who is always tapping a pen, cracking their knuckles, or jingling the coins in their pocket? Yeah, you don't want to be that person, especially when meeting someone new. Little habits like those make you come across as nervous, impatient, or just plain irritating. Even small tics like drumming your fingers on the table radiate distracting vibes that will make a negative impression. Fidgeting with your hair is another surprising no-no, at least in professional settings. Sure, it's a common nervous habit for many women who may play with their strands up to 18 times per day on average. But doing so during conversation can either make the other person think you're hitting on them or see you as anxious and insecure. In more severe cases, it can even seem like a sign of OCD. The same goes for distracting noises like tapping your foot repeatedly. You may not even realize you're doing it. It's often just an unconscious way to relieve stress or nervous energy. But to the other party, all those ambient ticks and tapping sounds simply read as impatience or a lack of control over yourself. The importance of undivided attention. In our increasingly digitized world, most of us are terrible about dividing our attention between actual living, breathing humans and our ever-present smartphones and gadgets. Checking your phone constantly, even just innocently glancing at it, is a huge faux pas when you're trying to build rapport with someone new. It sends the impolite signal that you're bored or uninterested in them. One study from the University of Essex found that simply having a phone sitting out on the table was enough to degrade the quality of conversation and engagement between participants. Your best bet is to put your phone away entirely and give the new person your full, undivided focus. This goes for wearable tech like smartwatches too. While the intention behind checking the time may be innocent, a person you've just met is likely to interpret constant wrist glances as you being preoccupied with something or someone else. An extension of this is remembering the other person's name. Forgetting it right after you've been introduced is discourteous and basically tells them you aren't really paying attention. Get in the habit of repeating someone's name back to them during introductions to cement it in your memory. And if you do blank on it later, stay calm and sidestep using their name entirely rather than stumbling through excuses about being bad with names. Smart conversation starters. For the socially anxious, coming up with appropriate conversation topics in the first place can be challenging. Some opt to avoid the awkward silence by simply blurting out whatever comes to mind, a risky maneuver that often backfires. There are a number of conversational landmines you'll want to avoid when meeting someone for the first time. Taboo topics like religion, politics, health issues, personal problems, and finances have the potential to make people very uncomfortable very quickly if you're not yet familiar with their boundaries and viewpoints. It's better to steer clear of those heavy themes altogether until you've gotten to know each other better. The same goes for oversharing or spending the whole interaction venting about yourself. You may think you're being an open book, but all you're really doing is giving off self-absorbed vibes. The goal for starting off on the right foot is to seem like a good listener who is interested in learning about the other person, rather than just talking about yourself.
Watch your distance.
Everyone has different expectations when it comes to personal space. How far away you should stand or sit from someone depends on your relationship to them, if any, as well as the situation at hand. In general, a casual conversation among friends calls for a closer distance than appropriate for a formal interaction or initial meeting. With complete strangers, most experts recommend keeping a minimum distance of around 4 feet between the two of you. Standing too close could make you seem aggressive or overbearing. But keeping too much distance implies disinterest or discomfort with the interaction. Read the room and aim for a happy medium. Looking the part. As much as we like to believe that appearances don't or shouldn't matter, the reality is that a full 55% of someone's first impression of you is based on how you look. Within those first 7 fateful seconds, your height, weight, hairstyle, clothes, makeup, and accessories are already shaping the other person's opinion of you, for better or worse. With such high stakes, it pays to put some thought into your look before an important introduction. Aim to appear neat, tidy, and well put together. The goal is to strike a balance between conservative and polished, so as not to come across as disheveled or too flashy. Excessive makeup, perfume, cologne, and sloppy clothes will reflect poorly on you no matter what. But so will going totally grungy or failing to put in any effort appearance-wise. Resist the urge to dress in a way that's too formal for the occasion at hand. You don't want to seem like you're overcompensating to appear important when meeting someone for the first time. Instead, keep things simple and let your well-kempt look project an image of quiet confidence, self-assuredness, and respect for the other person. Making a strong and authentic first impression takes a bit of mindfulness across a number of areas, from your body language and conversation skills to your grooming and attire. It may sound like a lot to juggle, but the core principle is simply to approach new encounters with respect, focus, and an attentiveness to how you are presenting yourself. Address bad habits like fidgeting. Try to stay fully present instead of getting distracted by your devices, and put some thought into facilitating smooth introductions via a friendly demeanor and appropriate look. Get in practice and you'll be able to nail those crucial first 7 seconds every time. What else do you think is important when making a first impression? Let us know in the comment section. If you enjoyed today's content, give it a thumbs up, and for more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. To learn more about other interesting topics, be sure to check out our other videos. Until next time, thanks for watching.